Okay, dokie.
Here.
What's happening, people? How you living? How you feeling? Hopefully you're having an absolutely fantastic day, and it's gonna get even better on a stream. How's your day so far?
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
I'm good. I'm good, man.
Absolutely phenomenal. You love it.
Just another day to wake up in this beautiful world, in this beautiful country we call Sydney, Australia. Not a cloud in the sky here. Perfect weather. A beautiful child, a beautiful wife.
England is my city.
Fantastic community.
Apparently there's an echo.
Apparently it's an echo.
I don't know where that echo would come from, actually.
He said, wait, never mind. It's mental.
It's trying to trick us. What's up, people? We see you in the chat. Daniel Macy is here, our expert NFL draft countdown expert. He's working overtime here. 8 days until the NFL draft. That means this time tomorrow, it'll just be 1 week. And then we'll be ready to go. We'll be rocking. And the live streams will be mental that week. And literally like a couple days, I think it's the day after the NFL draft. I could be wrong. We're literally doing a live stream with a real rookie draft in a real money league for you guys to see. It's going to be absolutely chaos.
So much happening next week, which is going to be crazy.
Waffle Boy says, "What's up, brother?" Everyone's saying, "What's up, brother?"
What's up, brother?
I actually love him. I am worried that this is getting so big that it's going to get really old really quick. Do you know what I mean? Do you feel the same way or no?
What's funny is that it's still not old, and it feels like
he took over the internet in like a week.
It's been happening for a month still, and people are still doing it.
No, but I mean, when it originally started, like it felt like it was 100%. Like a week, and it was like, yeah, the internet's mine, you know?
Yeah, 1000%.
But super funny dude.
Yeah, I love it. He's actually live right now on Twitch. He's playing Madden.
Special teams, special plays, special players.
Tuesday.
Well, we love him. What he does is great. What's up, Waka Flocka? Is that a man? It's a band. Hit the like button, he says. Yeah, do us a favor. Hit that like button as the stream is starting. We have a like goal today of 115 likes. If we get 115, we'll pop off a second mock draft for y'all. What's up, Rock? What's up, Gus? What's up, Wyatt? What's up, Liam? What's up, Vince? How we doing? How we living? How we feeling? Ryan is calling us out. He says, when's the stream start, guys? Come on, get on top of it. We're trying. What's up, Chase? Welcome in. WG, UT. We got Riles in the chat. Big Dogs in the chat. Andrew's in the chat. Trees to the chat. He says, me to the commies. Sparrow says, J.K. Dobbins to the Chargers. Anybody watch my stash video a couple weeks ago? We literally said Dobbins could go to the Chargers. We're predicting the future out here. What's up, Zach? I appreciate you, man. Chase, yes, Alpha League is first.
Alpha, and then it goes in order.
What's up, Daniel? He says, loving the mock. Zach Veach is here. You love to see it. Styles, Kevin is here. We've got Christian in the chat. We've got Joe in the chat. Y'all the worst. That's why I show up. You love to see it. We appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Like we said, do us a favor and hit that like button. Our like goal today is 115. And if we can get there, we'll do 2 mock drafts for you guys today. We are doing a rookie mock draft, and we have a fantastic rookie. We have a fantastic 7-round NFL draft that we are using from The Athletic, from one of my favorite guys in the industry, Dane Brugler. We're going to walk through that. I have only put together that sheet for you guys. I haven't actually taken a second and like looked through it, myself at this point. So we are going to have a look at that. If you have the Athletic subscription, it's very cheap, by the way. I think it's like $1 a month, if I'm not mistaken. It's well worth it. Obviously, we put it on our business card. That's a business expense.
Here's the card.
That's a business expense right there.
A business. We got 50 back.
Yeah, we put the Athletic on a business card, but if anything, this is a promotion for the Athletic. I love their website. I love what they do, and Dane Brugler is one of my favorite minds in the NFL draft. So we are using his latest 7-round NFL mock draft today. I'll put a link to the Athletic one in the chat for you, but we also made this little spreadsheet for those of you guys who don't want to sign up and that's totally okay. If you don't want to sign up, we made this little spreadsheet. Some of you minions here in the chat, 17 total viewers right now anyway. So if you want to change, then you can, or if you want to look at this spreadsheet, we made this spreadsheet for you. But first, people have to get into the mock draft. That's how it actually works, Zach. So how can people join today's mock draft if they want to?
Yeah, guys, join our Discord. All you have to do is join our Discord. The link in the description below. Link is going to be in the chat, as you can see there. And then go to Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs and go to content releases. You can see Zach is writing that message. It says, hey, right here, gang. That's the tab where you go to get into a mock draft each and every time. If you're watching this now or later, this is where you have to go. This is where you have to be. Okay. It is first come, first serve.
The love is in the air tonight from the Discord.
Yeah.
Have I joined? I haven't.
You have not joined, and I was going to say that you haven't joined, so make sure you join the mock
I'll
draft.
go right ahead of you so I can snipe you every round.
Yeah, freaking classic. Little bitch.
Classic.
3, 2, 1. There you go. That is the link to this mock draft.
Okay, so that is going to fill up really quickly. We are obviously going to talk about the landing spots for today's draft, but just quickly, y'all know we got to do it, okay? Yeah, all right, maybe you hate promotions, you hate advertising, and you're like, oh, can I really? All right, just give us 30 seconds. Is that okay? 30 seconds. You guys will probably have seen us 3 nights a week grading people's Dynasty teams and giving them options on how to improve, what direction they should go. If you want your Dynasty team reviewed by us on a live stream, it's very simple. All you got to do is become a Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. And there's so much that you get with your package. That's what she said. I put a direct link in the chat for you. Again, Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND on the Flock Fantasy website. That unlocks everything you see here on your screen. Our rookie report, which will be finalized after the NFL draft. A Dynasty team review, which happens on a live stream. Unlimited access to our calculator, our complete rankings. You get a DM to us for advice. You get to be a part of our monthly trade show. And of course, you unlock the entire Discord. And also, you're keeping the lights on. You're keeping the lights on for Badaki and myself. You're helping us feed our families when you become a Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. So, tomorrow night, we will be live reviewing people's teams. So, yeah, that's how you get your team reviewed and all that as well. We are full. So, take a second, and I want you to remove everything you knew in your brain about the NFL draft. Remove it. Is it gone?
It's gone.
It's gone. Because we are stepping into an alternate reality. And that reality is shaped by Dane Brugler of The Athletic. Okay? I can't talk about how much I love this guy. I'm obsessed with Dane Brugler. He's awesome. One of my favorites. And I love The Athletic. But let's talk about the world we're living in today. In the world we live in today, Caleb Williams is a Bear. The Washington Commanders go Jaden Daniels. Drake May to the Patriots, excuse me. The Vikings get J.J. McCarthy. They trade up with the Cardinals. Marvin Harrison Jr. lands with the Chargers. Malik Neighbors to your New York Giants. We see Rome Odunze to the Chicago Bears. Brock Bowers to the Jets. And then we see the next offensive player. It's a little while. Brian Thomas Jr. to the Buffalo Bills. Then we see... Who's the next? Michael Penix Jr. goes in the first round to the Raiders. The Raiders trade up for Michael Penix Jr. Adonai Mitchell goes to the Chiefs at pick 32 into round 2, where Ladd McConkey's a Panther. Keon Coleman is a Charger. That's interesting. We will also see Xavier Worthy to the Saints. Slick Ricky Pearsall to the Colts. I learned recently, Badaki, that people are obsessed with Ricky Pearsall. I thought you and I loved him. Do you know some people have him inside their top 5? Some people have them well inside their top 7. The hive for Ricky Pearsall is vibrant right now, and I get it. He's a great player. Troy Franklin goes to the Jags in round 2. That's one of those landing spots I really like for Troy Franklin. Roman Wilson to the Steelers. Bo Nix to the Rams. Jatavion Sanders to the Dolphins. Xavier Legette to the Ravens into round 3, where we see Jonathan Brooks to the Panthers, Malachi Corley to the Patriots, Blake Corum to the Chargers, Trey Benson to the Big Apple, Jalen Polk to the Lions, Spencer Rattler to the Broncos, Tez Walker to the Falcons, Theo Johnson to the Bengals, Jermaine Cole Burton to the Rams. Jalen Wright to the Cowboys. Marshawn Lloyd to the Cardinals. This is an awesome landing spot for fantasy. Jared Wiley to the Niners. Brendan Rice to the Commanders. Wasted pick. Congratulations, Washington. No, all jokes. Ben Sinnott to the Panthers. We also see Michael Pratt to the Giants. Malik Washington to the Jets. Braylon Allen to the Raiders. Man, so much of this mock makes sense to me. Jalen McMillan to the Eagles, except for that. Damn it. Come on, Dane. Cade Stover to the Broncos. Audric Esme to the Bucks. Ray Davis to the Packers. Will Shipley to the Texans. Javon Baker to the Bills. Like that. Bucky Irvin to the Chiefs. Like that. Luke McCaffrey to the 49ers. Into round 5, where we see Tip Ryman. Who is that? To the Commanders. Johnny Wilson. Just the tip. Jacob Cohen to the Titans. Jamari Thrash to the Raiders. Anthony Gould to the Bengals. He's not a ghoul. His name is Gould. Tyrone Tracy to the Colts. Isaac Carrendo to the Jags. Cody Schrader to the Rams. Taj Washington to the Browns. Then we see Dylan Labe to the Saints. Into round 6 and 7. You can look at your own. You can look on your own time if you like, okay? Direct link is in the description. I also put it in the chat if you want access to the spreadsheet instead. That's the world we're living in. Now we have to decide if this was real life, how would it impact a Superflex PPR tight end premium draft? And you guys are going to help us determine that. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Superflex draft has started, ladies and gentlemen. We are
3,
Fox
2,
Sports.
1.
Caleb Williams goes number 1 overall.
Huge mistake. Huge mistake here by Rolling Stone. Another big mistake here. Marvin Harrison Jr. off the board.
So Marvin Harrison Jr., Caleb Williams, the consensus 101 and consensus 102. No surprises there. Jaden Daniels also off the board, going to the Commanders. JJ McCarthy ends up going ahead of Drake May because of that landing spot. JJ goes to the Vikings. Drake May goes to the Patriots. And all of a sudden, JJ McCarthy is a locked and loaded top 5 pick. I think it probably happens in real drafts if this is the real world.
I think so as well. You're on the clock here. What are you thinking?
I'm on the clock. Neighbors is gone. Marvin is gone. McCarthy is gone. May is gone. You know, this is tight end premium. Oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Oh, wow. That's good Lord. I would be looking to trade back in this scenario because I want someone to make these decisions for me. Man, I'll be honest, I really don't like this landing spot, but I love the player. All right. I'm going to grab Rome Odunze. But I hate Rome Odunze to the Bears. I hate any wide receiver in the top 10 to the Bears for so many reasons. Main reason being is you are going to be competing with 2 wide receivers who have been alphas their entire career. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, both guys who have led their team in target share their entire career. So I don't like this landing spot, man. I hate this landing spot. Like how likely it is Rome Odunze has a top 12 season as a rookie. It's almost completely unlikely, let alone when you consider he's got a rookie quarterback throwing him the ball. Man, I hate that. I might need to think about that further, but I'll follow my scouting eval here and I'll go with Odunze. I'm just not a fan of that landing spot whatsoever.
Yeah, very, very interesting landing spot for the boy here.
Ravi asked, if this happens, does Brian Thomas become a serious consideration at 7?
Well, that's the thing. That's where I'm kind of contemplating because they trade up for Brian Thomas Jr. Let's just get it out in the open here. That's where I'm contemplating. Yeah, Brock Bowers is the top 10 pick. He goes to the Jets. Do I take Brock Bowers or Brian Thomas Jr., who easily becomes the number 1 wide receiver with Josh Allen? That's where I'm throwing my head around here, and I don't know where I would go. We always say take best player available, but I think this is the type of scenarios where
the landing spot does matter.
The landing spot does matter, and it's really hard to really know what is the right thing to do. And right here, I'm going with my gut, and I'm going with what I know. Like, is Brock Bowers going to be getting the 120 plus targets that we envision Brian Thomas Jr. getting in the Buffalo Bills? Probably not. Maybe. I'll take Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, tough call. I think I still lean Bowers, but it's close. If it wasn't Titan Premium, I think I would go Thomas. But with a Titan Premium, man, I think Bowers is where I would go. I was trying to debate between 4 names there at the 107, so I understand everyone's debate here between these next 3 picks. Waka says, I'm leaning on the hit right here. I picked 9. So he takes Bowers. If you guys don't know, tight ends hit at a 77% clip in the first round of the NFL draft for fantasy purposes. So it's a very good bet. Brock Bowers is right there at the 109. Adonai Mitchell goes to the Kansas City Chiefs in round 1. I mean, Dane decided, why don't I scheme up a way where the entire Dynasty community is going to drool over this mock draft. That's exactly what he did here, because it's very exciting. In fact, I'd say Roma Dunze is my least exciting landing spot in round 1.
Yeah.
So annoying.
And this actually, if this happens for you, for the Chiefs, how do you feel about Richie Rich?
They play different positions, but certainly it's not ideal.
Yeah, because I don't say if Richie Rich didn't have the legal implications, but then he gets drafted to the Chiefs, but they draft another big wide receiver like Adonai Mitchell. Is he a top? I mean, what do you have? Top 24 right now? Is he still top 24 for you?
Yeah, he would be. Yeah, he's already got that rapport. He's already proven production with Patrick Mahomes, and I don't think they play anywhere near the same role for that offense. I'd honestly be more worried about Hollywood Brown if that were to happen. But I also don't see Adonai Mitchell falling that far. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he lasts till pick 32. That would really shock me if he lasted that far. Penix off the board, by the way. He went in round 1 to the Raiders. The Raiders actually traded back into round 1 with the 29th overall pick and took Michael Penix. So he will be throwing balls to Adams, Jacoby Myers, Michael Mayer, and that could be super interesting over there. And there we go. Some respect on my guy, Troy Franklin. You know, we keep talking about worst case scenario, Troy Franklin. How about best case scenario? He goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars in round 2. So now he's got to compete with Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk for opportunity, and he's linked to a good quarterback. I'll take those odds there with Troy Franklin. So I like the pick. Makes a lot of sense there. All right, that's the end of round 1. We got to ask you guys, who is the best value in round 1? Who do you perceive to be the best value here in all of round 1? Let us know in the chat. And by the way, we got a little super chat here from Drusiv. He's been a member for 23 months. We appreciate you big time. He says the Cowboys better pick Benson in round 2. That would be an awesome landing spot.
That's awesome.
Appreciate you, Drusiv, for the constant support. Who do you think is the best value in round 1, Padaki?
I think it is too. I think it's Drake May and Brock Bowers. That's what I would say. The fact that Drake May was 3rd overall pick, he goes to the Patriots, which is, I guess, quote unquote, not a favorable landing spot. And this is one thing I want to say, because I know not every year, not every quarterback is going to be CJ Stroud, but neither were the Texans. No one was expecting Nico Collins to be this guy. No one was expecting Tank Dell or Dalton Schultz, right? Like, once again, I know it's based off the player, but like, if anything can happen with someone like Drake May that goes to the New England Patriots, can he emerge a Demario Douglas? Could he make somebody like a Juju? Well, maybe not Juju Smith, because let's be honest, I don't know. But anyway,
Juju's
you get
more
what I'm
focused
saying.
on an OnlyFans account right now.
Honestly, for real, like if it's like, you get what I'm saying though. I like Drake May and then Brock Bowers. I mean, he's still a top 10 guy, falling to the 109 there. I think those are the 2 best values.
I think Drake May is an eyesore there, falling to the 106. That's crazy. So I definitely would agree Drake May. Let's see what the chat says, though. Sparrow says May, Brian Thomas, Brock or Thomas, Bowers, Brian Thomas. Got to be Bowers. Everyone's saying Brock Bowers, which makes a lot of sense. Top 10 pick. Such a good prospect. Falls to the 109. That makes a ton of sense. And I guarantee you guys, look at this video in 24 hours. There will be a comment that someone says, there is no league that exists in any world where Bowers falls to the 109. I promise you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But, you know, Katz made a good point. He says this makes the drop-off at the 108 far less of a drop-off. And I agree. You're left with a lot of really good decisions. That's why I said at the 107, I wish I could trade back from the 107. Like, I wish I could have gone to the 110 and gotten a second round pick, or, you know, maybe swapped first and seconds in a future year. My ideal scenario, if this was how it played out, the 107 would be to trade back, because I'm not convinced Roma Dunze is going to outproduce a Bowers, is going to outproduce a Mitchell, you know, is going to be more valuable than Penix, you know. So really, really tough. And El Tigre, a member for almost 2 years as well on YouTube, says, I support the McCarthy pick in this scenario. Dab on him. Dab on him.
Dab on him, Andy. Hey, we appreciate you, El Tigre. Thank you so much. Send me the 104. Send me the 104. You know what league I'm talking about.
All right, a little update on our light goal. We do have a light goal today of 115. We're at 65, so we're already, you know, very close to 100. Do us a favor, hit that like button. If we hit 115, we will pop off a second mock draft for you guys all together here in the chat. Do us a favor, hit that like button. All right, getting into round 2.
What?
Still
will be
some very good opportunity to draft good players here.
Yeah, you know what would be a phenomenal plug that we should do right now before we forget, since we have 137 people here watching, is that we're going to be live for the NFL draft.
Yes.
Live reactions for the NFL draft on our redraft channel. So if you're here watching with us, maybe you're subscribed to the Dynasty channel, not knowing that we have a redraft channel, go to our redraft channel, subscribe there, turn on your notification, because that's where Zach and I will be there watching the NFL draft. Not showing you live, because we can't do that. We'll get demonetized. But live reacting to the NFL draft like we did for the past 3 years. And last year was just absolutely hilarious. Good times. Let's hang. Turn on your notifications.
Yeah.
And go subscribe to the DynastyLand channel. That's actually our first channel, by the way. Redraft channel.
Yeah, we'll be live there for the draft reacting, and I'm sure there'll be some meltdowns if things go a certain way. The infamous meltdown last year when my Commanders took Emmanuel Forbes over Christian Gonzalez. I'll never get over it. I'll never recover, but it did happen. And obviously you guys see our reactions first for round 1. Keon Coleman off the board. He goes to the Chargers. So that's the Chargers bump right there for Keon Coleman. Pick 37 to the Chargers. Slick Ricky Pearsall-Badaki. There is a Ricky Pearsall hive. I'm telling you, it exists. It 100% exists. And I think it's because of Matt Harmon. And Matt Harmon is one of the best evaluators of rookie wide receivers incoming that there is. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Harmon has him as a top 5 receiver in this class.
I think
top
Ricky...
5. Yeah.
Sorry. I think Matt Harmon just released his reception perception on Ricky Pearsall today, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was yesterday, but it was very, very recently. And I found out because I have him at wide receiver 11 right now. And by the way, wide receiver 11 in a lot of classes, you'd be like, wow, you're low on the guy. Wide receiver 11 in this class is like, damn, you really like that player. That's the way I viewed it, you know?
Sure.
But it seems like Pearsall is a consensus top 8 wide receiver for the Dynasty community right now. So he goes at the 205. I was very curious to see where he would land. He goes to the Colts in round 2. I don't know. I don't like the landing spot. Certainly this isn't great if you own Josh Downs, but I'm just not a huge fan of that landing spot. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah. I mean,
any thoughts there?
I'm not in love with the landing spot either. I think we just recorded a video, some of the best and worst landing spots, and the Colts were on that list. Being one of the worst. So stay tuned for that one. But yeah, where is that production going to come from here? But you got 30 seconds on the clock.
I got 30 seconds on the clock, and I think there is a clear... Oh my gosh. This is a tough call. Man. All right, I'm gonna go. Let's not make Xavier Worthy. I'll take Xavier Worthy at the 207. I think that's pretty. I don't think we've seen him fall farther than that in the last 4 months.
No, we have not, but he also went to a non-favorable landing spot. I mean, maybe in our community, we've kind of been emphasizing, at least I've been emphasizing and saying that, I don't like this landing spot. I've been a big advocate of pivoting off of Chris Olave and Xavier Worthy comes into this offense. Uh,
I kind of love it because I think he complements Chris Olave really well. And who is he competing with? Michael Thomas is gone. Is he competing with Rashid Shaheed? I mean, there's a scenario where he gets 100 targets as a rookie. And I know it's from Derek Carr, so it's not that exciting, but he's the clear number 2 behind Olave, in my opinion, in this world. I'll take him at the 207. I think you can make a case he's got just as good of an opportunity to produce as Ricky Pearsall in Indianapolis.
Sure.
What are you thinking here?
I have a couple guys here, and man, this is interesting.
I'm just gonna say there was a player I really wanted to draft, but I had to take Xavier there. I'll be surprised if you let him fall.
I have 2 players in mind. One's a running back and one's a wide receiver. I think I'm gonna go Roman Wilson here.
Okay, Roman Wilson off the board.
I love this landing spot. He takes over that Deontay Johnson role. He can play outside, inside. Now I'm just thinking of the quarterback. I'm thinking about it in my head as I picked him with the quarterback playing what that would look like with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields.
Yeah, the player I was thinking was Blake Corum. I almost took him over Xavier Worthy. He goes to the Chargers in round 3. I think that is genuinely best case scenario for Blake Corum to link up with his old head coach, to be a part of an offense that's going to run the ball a lot, and to be a part of an offense where he's already had so much success as a goal line running back. I really loved Blake Corum there. I was really tempted to take him over Xavier Worthy. I just felt like Worthy was falling too far.
Marshawn Lloyd off the board, which is also another good pick in the 3rd round. He goes to the Arizona Cardinals.
Love that.
James Conner there with another 1 more year on his contract.
Yeah. Yes, the Chargers did just sign Dobbins, and now it's your last chance if you own J.K. Dobbins to sell him for anything worth value. This is your last opportunity. What can you get for J.K. Dobbins,
Because I'm bombing like I'm Dobbins.
This was the reason I was out on James Robinson. It was the reason I was out on Cam Akers. That Achilles, you're not going to do much for your career. So what can you get for J.K. Dobbins? Look at what Cam Akers did last year. Look at James Robinson's career after that. It is all downhill now for J.K. Dobbins. Although, what can you get for him now? Can you get an early 3rd for Dobbins? Take it and run if you actually can. But Blake Corum off the board, and then Lloyd. Yeah, those 2 running backs I just think are incredible values. I think Blake Corum, I don't know, dude. I think I would take him maybe over Keon as well. Maybe I should have taken him over Worthy. I think that's a really, really good pick.
Yeah, I think he goes, and the fact that he lands back with his head coach is huge. So I completely agree.
Billy just donated a super chat, and he said, Badaki, trade with me in Delta League.
I already did twice or 3 times.
He wants more. Billy's going all in.
We were on the trade frenzy. I'm doing a complete wipeout, but nobody wants to pay the value. You're getting some premium players here, Billy. Not only Billy. Come on, Chase. I know you're in the chat too. Chase is in here.
Malachi Corley, by the way, goes to the Patriots.
Daniel Macy, you too. I know you're in here too. I know you want Drizzy Drake.
He knows you want him. Corley to the Patriots. I like that landing spot. That's very intriguing to me. Thinking about him linking up with Drake May, and really Drake May not having many options outside of Malachi Corley to throw the ball to this year. So I like it. Casey says Delta going wild the last 2 days. Chase says we were close, Badaki, but you don't like Quentin Johnson anymore.
Well, I do.
Yeah,
You
he's
just
calling
want
you out.
crazy. I'll tell you the trades. Don't let me tell you the trades of what you've been sending me.
Okay, so it sounds like he's been sending you wank trades, is what we would call it. All right, that's the end of round 2. Jermaine Burton is a great pick there, by the way. He goes to the Rams in round 3. I actually like the Rams for a wide receiver. Cooper Kupp's getting older, and obviously we know what Sean McVay can do. So that's the end of round 2. Who do you guys think is the absolute best value in round 2? Let me know in the comment section below. Best round 2 value is... You got to fill in the blanks for us here. Who is the best round 2 value? What do you think, Badaki? Who stands out to you?
I think it has to be Xavier Worthy for me.
Okay.
I know we don't love the landing spot, but I think the talent's there to where he can carve out a huge role. Landing at the 2-7, I would still be taking him over. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to take him over Jalen Wright, to be honest with you. But I'll take over Keon Coleman. I'll tell you that much. Even if Keon Coleman's going with Justin Herbert, I still believe in the talent of Xavier Worthy. So I would say that is probably the best.
Yeah, I'd have to unbiasedly agree with you. It has nothing to do with me picking him. No, I'm kidding. I do think it's a great value. You know, it's funny because if I knew I could trade back from the 207 to the 209 and get Blake Corum and get something else, I would do that in a real draft. I think it is maybe Corum or Worthy for me. It's one of those two names. But yeah, you're right. Jalen Wright going to the Cowboys. That's pretty hot too. That's pretty hot. But let's see what the chat says. Kyle says Corum. We got Worthy, Corum, Worthy by a lot. Jalen Wright, Corum. Based on these draft positions, Blake, McConkey, Cole says Worthy, Corley. We got a couple Corleys. Kevin says any explanation on the Worthy fall? I mean, you got to ask teams 1 to 6 on that, but I just think there were other prospects who were in much more favorable positions, and I don't think people like Derek Carr. And I can understand that. I can understand someone not liking Derek Carr because we would have that in common. Yeah. Just an update, guys, on our like goal. It's 115, and we're currently at 82. So, quick maths would say we are 33 likes away. We are 33 likes away from our like goal. Do us a favor, hit that like button. If we do reach 115, we will do a second mock draft with you guys to help out the community there. So do us a favor, hit that like button. But let's get into round 3.
Let's do what we do, and let's do it best here.
Still some players I really am surprised are available, but it makes sense. Everyone loves Xavier Legette, but he keeps falling in rookie drafts.
X gonna give it to you.
He goes to the Ravens. I hate that spot. What do you think about it? He's one of your favorite players.
I like Xavier Legette. I like the spot. I like Roman Wilson's spot a little bit better based off of I guess the players around him, but I think the quarterback play is what concerns me there. Spencer Rattler goes to the Broncos in the 3rd round. A good quarterback to take a shot on there. Mm-hmm.
Sanders to
the Dolphins.
The Dolphins in round 2.
Another interesting landing spot there. Brother Bolton Nix.
I think I am a little surprised that Nix goes after Rattler.
I was contemplating between Bo Nix, Roman Wilson, and Blake Corum at that time, and I was like, should I just take a shot on the quarterback? Because landing with the Rams kind of gives you a pathway, which is exciting. Now with the second round hit rate of quarterbacks, it gets you scared a little bit, but still the pathway seems exciting for Bo Nix there.
Yeah, and I got a decision to make here. Man, is it just our community who doesn't like these big backs in this class? Because I feel like we always get called out for not having those 2 big backs in this class higher in our rankings, but it feels like no one in our community ever drafts them high. So I'm trying to understand if it's just our community that's maybe agreeing with us.
be our community.
Well, I am gonna take one of those big backs. I'll grab Braylon Allen here. He goes to the Raiders in round 4. I don't like the round 4 hit rate, but we're in the middle of the 3rd round here, guys. And honestly, I kind of love this landing spot for Braylon Allen. This is an Antonio Pierce type of dude. You know, this is the type of dude Antonio Pierce wants to give the rock to. A big body guy that you can give the ball 20 times to and it won't phase him. A lot of strength, you know, a goal line asset. So I think Braylon Allen probably becomes a starter pretty quickly over Zamir White. I could be wrong there. I don't think they're all that far off as prospects. I know Braylon Allen is super young, but I think he would have the edge.
Let's see here of where I am going to be going. I do have a couple options. I think I'm going to go a route that we haven't gone in a while because I kind of want to shine light on the position here. We normally don't talk about them, but I think our minds will change if the landing spots are favorable for some of these guys. That's tight end position, Theo Johnson. I like the Bengals in the 3rd round. We talked about Brock Bowers going to the Bengals. Now he's a 1st round talent. But Theo Johnson had a phenomenal RSA score, if I'm not mistaken. It was like RAS. Sorry,
shout out to RSA.
RSA. Shout out to RSA. Shout out to them. 9.93 RAS score, and a great 40 for a big back or big body type of tight end, 6'6", 200 and nearly 60 pounds. Apparently the guy can do it all out of Penn State. So I think if we see some of these favorable landing spots in the 3rd, 4th round for some of these tight ends, I think we could potentially taking some opportunities.
Sure.
Or they can take opportunities to get into the 3rd round of your rookie drafts here, if you need a tight end.
Yeah. And you know what was interesting is we did see Joe Burrow trying to form a connection last year with Tanner Hudson. It was short-lived, but there was a little stint there where Tanner Hudson started to become a sneaky waiver wire ad, and then Joe Burrow got injured, and it didn't matter anymore. But maybe
and that's going to be
maybe
for
they
all
do
these
want
tight
to
ends,
incorporate
right?
that into their offense.
Yeah, that's going to be for a lot of these tight ends.
Pick. I love that pick from Supreme. Sorry, Javon Baker, round 4 to the Bills. I think Javon Baker is one of those really sneaky value wide receivers in this class. One of my favorite sleepers. He goes to the Bills, an offense that needs someone to step up. They did buy or draft Brian Thomas Jr., but there's enough room there for Javon Baker to carve out a role. So I really like that. Sorry, continue on what you were saying.
No, that's good. I like Javon Baker as well.
But yeah, we'll see. Maybe the Bengals can carve out a little role for a tight end. Maybe that is Theo Johnson.
Yeah. Let's see where else.
Walker says, I'm really good at drafting, man. Supreme in the house. Appreciate you, man. Sparrow says, I mean, I'm picking at 12, so I can't pick Braylon in the early 3rd. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. What's up, Kev? Welcome in. Yeah, I definitely prefer Lloyd over Leggett in this world too, Riles. I hear ya. That definitely makes sense. All right, Bucky Irving. I like it. You know,
in the 4th to the Chiefs.
This is one of those landing spots that you and I disagree on based off a recent video that we made, but I am not super high on Bucky Irving at this point. But I actually really love envisioning him in this offense because we have seen Jerick McKinnon in the past when he was healthy play an important role for them in the red zone, an important role for them on 3rd downs. So I think Bucky Irving could play a really enticing role here. And to get him at the 310, we don't know if this team is going to sign Pacheco long-term to any sort of deal. There's no indication that they will or they won't. But Bucky Irving could be a really fun draft pick here at the 310 in that offense. Maybe emulating what Jerick McKinnon did for them recently.
Yeah, and I think that's where I'm not in love with it. You know, it's just Jerick McKinnon only had that one feels like that 1 year where he was a top 24 guy in the second half of the season. Because of injuries, Bucky Irving is not going to be somebody we're going to be able to rely on a week-to-week basis. I think he might be a fun, exciting player, maybe in the best ball format. I love Bucky Irving. I loved everything about him coming out. Now he had a terrible combine, and it really affected his score, especially in our gradings. But yeah, look, if he can Colorado roll, it's going to be very interesting.
I don't think any of us would. I don't think either of us, sorry, would have the expectation of him being like a consistent guy, though. I mean, 310.
Yeah, the 310. I think it's fun. It's fun,
but not like I think the early second round.
When it comes down to the landing spot, it's like, okay, you're only limited to very, very minimal production in this offense, in my perspective. Now, if he goes to another offense where, you know, they need a pass catching back that can do a little bit more for their offense, that seems exciting.
Could also play it in the opposite way and think it's to a different extent, but Kyren goes to the Rams in round 5. He's dead. We bury him. They have Cam Akers, right? Well, different scenario because Cam Akers had that injury, and there's a lot of history behind him not producing. But, I mean, who's to say the Chiefs do bring Pacheco back? What if they don't want to pay a running back? Bucky, I mean, could he be the Kyren Williams route? Maybe, maybe not. But I like it. I think it's a fun pick. McMillan at the 312. He goes to the Eagles in round 4. I absolutely hate that Dane is not giving my guy any love. He puts him in round 4, and he doesn't even give him a spot where he can break out. So we're going to bury you in the Eagles depth chart. Just
what does Dane know about Jalen?
Just absolutely rude from Dane Brugler.
He knows something.
Yeah, he knows everything. Do us a favor, hit that like button, guys. Only, I think, 15 likes away from 115. So if you can help us reach our like goal, that would be greatly appreciated. And into round 3, who's the best value? Who do you guys think is the best value in round 3? Curious to know people's thoughts. Who stands out to you?
For me, it has to be Xavier. He goes in the second round, 301 here. I like Xavier to get, and I'll do an honorable mention for brother Bro Nix that I kind of mentioned earlier that I think he could have gone earlier, as he went in the second round to, in my opinion, a favorable landing spot.
Yep, so Leggett goes to the Ravens, Bo Nix to the Rams. The people are saying Bo Nix. Waka says Allen, Braylon Allen. Rocky says Bo Nix as well. Timothy says Washington.
Okay.
Kyle says Javon Baker. So a lot of people with different takes there, which is great to see. But again, do us a favor, hit that like button. 115 is our goal today. And we are only about 7 likes away from hitting that goal. So with your help, I'm very confident we can do so. And if we do, we'll pop off a second mock draft with you guys. But let's get into round 4 here. Got another Baker, another Bo Nix. A lot of people loving the Nix pick. Cody Schrader comes back to life.
Cody Schrader. He goes in the 5th round to the Rams.
We haven't talked about him much recently.
No, we haven't been hearing too much. Not too many favorable landing spots. Sometimes getting undrafted in some of these mock drafts here. But going to the Rams, maybe taking some opportunity away from Kyren Williams there. And then Johnny Wilson, trying to figure out where he went. He went to the Broncos in the 5th round. I guess it's interesting when you think about it. That could be some opportunity there for Johnny Wilson. Jalen Polk lands in a terrible landing spot, going to the Detroit Lions in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Hate that landing spot for him. And we just saw him go in the 1st round in Peter Schrager's mock draft. And now you're on the clock here.
Yeah, Ray Davis gone. Brendan Rice gone. And man, I want to draft one of my favorite running backs in the class, but he is buried in a depth chart. I mean, we are in the 4th round, so it makes a lot of sense. Actually, 2 of my favorite running backs in this class are buried in the depth chart. 3.
Be careful.
All right, we are going to draft a player that I'm not overly high on, but I know a lot of people in the community really like him. I'm not someone who is sold that Joe Mixon is going to see out his entire contract with the Texans. I'll grab Will Shipley here. He goes in round 4 to the Texans. Will Shipley's film does not impress me. I'm not really in love with it, but I also know there's room for me to be wrong and others could be right. So I'll take a shot on him at the 4-7. There are other players that I like better as talents, but I don't like their landing spots. I can't justify taking them at this point.
Sure. I'm going to say Jacob Cowing here.
I like it.
He goes to the Texans, or Titans, excuse me, in the 5th round. He's also another, depth or stuck in the depth charts there with, I guess you could say, Burks, Calvin Ridley now, DeAndre Hopkins. But maybe he can carve out a role there once DeAndre Hopkins is gone. And if Treylon Burks doesn't step up, can Jacob be the Wan'Dale Robinson to Will Levis like we saw in Kentucky? Be careful.
Maybe he could. So people talking about Johnny Wilson. A lot of people love his tape. The underdog guys like him. They're great at what they do. Look, like in a different class, I'd probably be more interested in Johnny Wilson. But in this class, there's just too many names that I love personally to have him in anywhere near my top 15. And it's funny because like every ranking video that you ever make, there's people in the comment section. This name is way too high. This name is criminally underrated. This guy's criminally low. Everyone always has a player that's criminally low in this draft class, as if it's not one of the most stacked classes we've seen in a long time. I mean, you think about it, like how many guys am I genuinely in love with? So many. Corley, Polk, Wilson, Pearsall, Burton. Then you got guys like Keon and Javon Baker, Malik Washington, Jacob Cohen. I mean, it's just such a stacked class that it's hard to really be in on a guy that I don't hate, but I'm just not like, I don't have that same love for when it comes to Johnny.
Yeah, I would agree. And, one of my biggest things is always, what is kind of the NFL leaning towards now? A little bit, a guy that can separate, a guy with a little bit more speed. We've seen the NFL, transition to some of these smaller guys, 6'7", 6'6" type of big body wide receiver. That was great in, 2010. Johnny Wilson will probably be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft with maybe what he is bringing. But look at all of these other wide receivers that are going ahead of Johnny Wilson, their size, what they can do, how they can move, how the NFL is being brought to, or how the NFL looks now. I think it's just different. It's different NFL. It's different needs for a lot of different players.
I do think if he moved to tight end, I'd be much more interested. Like, I think he could be a really fun hybrid tight end. Casey says, if Cincinnati doesn't take an RB like they don't in this one, how safe is Zach Moss and Chase Brown? Safe in the sense of like they got a year, but I don't think like there's like a long term like, oh, I've got a lot of security in these guys for like the next 3 years now,
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a tough one. Kamani Vidal out of Troy, if I'm not mistaken. Where did he go?
Let's see.
He goes in round 7 to the Bills.
He's seeing
so
something.
someone's taking their guy, if you will.
He's seeing something.
I want Rocky or Aselmo to take my dude. Don't let him go undrafted, please. All right, Aselmo, it's up to you. You got to take my guy. Don't let him go undrafted. I'm begging you. Damn it. Okay, Isaac Herendo goes undrafted. I get it. Round 5 to the Jags, not ideal. Not ideal. I mean, you can make a good argument that a lot of people would have Tank Bigsby as a better prospect, and you're not going to outproduce Travis Etienne anytime soon. But did we reach our like goal? Let's see.
Let's see. I need to refresh.
We
on the dot.
On the dot. Yes, 115 likes. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you big time. Very, very kind of you.
You gotta up the threshold now. I mean, we've been hitting 115 easy.
Yeah.
We gotta break
let's
it
see.
now.
Let's see what the NFL draft. What happens at the NFL draft? Who knows what the like goal will be on those streams? Those streams could be absolutely crazy. All right, we will do another mock draft with y'all. We'll do one quarterback. We try and be as fair as possible. Yes, we prefer Superflex, but we, again, try and be as fair as possible to everyone because we know different people play in different formats. So we'll do one quarterback. And how can people join this mock if they want to, Badaki?
Yeah, guys, join our Discord. Link in the description below, and link is going to be in the Discord. Go to the FantasyLand tab with the orange footballs, then go to content releases. That's how you can join each and every mock draft here. Once again, it is first come, first serve. That link is in the chat there, and I'll send that link out to you guys as well here. Let's do the middle of the pack here. You should definitely join that mock draft, by the way. Okay, there you go.
Yep.
And 3, 2, 1.
All right, so that link is being sent out. We will use the same landing spots from Dane Brugler's mock. I'll put a link to it here in case you don't have the Athletic. That's a little Google sheet that we made for y'all who don't have the Athletic. But also, hey, the Athletic is really cheap. I think it's like $1 or $2 a month, and they do great work. So I think it's definitely worth.
That's it. Yeah,
worth it in my opinion. But all right, we are full. Remember, this is one quarterback. It's PPR. It's tight end premium. 30 seconds on the clock. Let's get this popped. In 3, 2, 1. Pop, pop.
Pop, pop.
Marvin Harrison Jr. at the 101. You like Community?
Yes, there you go. That's Community. I can envision it. I just didn't remember where it was from.
Yeah, I love it. I love Community. One of my favorite shows.
I remember it. Sorry.
Neighbors off the board. He goes to your New York Giants. There will be no doubt that he would be competing for targets. I mean, he would get 130 targets year one at minimum there.
No question.
Caleb Williams goes at the 103 in a one quarterback league.
He does.
Definitely too early for me, but that doesn't mean it's the wrong pick. Right now, if Caleb Williams ranked right around 12, I think he has a ceiling in my rankings of like 7 to 9. But I don't think I could take him this early in a one quarterback tight end premium league.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I could take him in a one quarterback league. I always say I'm happy to start from like the 107 to the 108, depending on how desperate you are at the quarterback position. If you don't have a top 10 quarterback, and maybe a foundational piece that you absolutely need is quarterback here. Maybe you have a Daniel Jones, a Geno Smith, a Derek Carr, and you have the 107. Caleb Williams, I'm happy for you to take him here. I'm happy for you to take a Jaden Daniels, however way you want to pivot, but I'm not taking him over, I would say, these top 3 wide receivers in a one quarterback.
So my 6th overall ranked player in a one quarterback format is my RB1. And that RB All right. That sucks. Well, you know how my PC does that really cool thing where all of the Bluetooth, all of the audio, everything that's connected to the USB just decides to stop working at a random moment. Yeah, it decided as soon as it was my time to make a pick, it was like, actually, fuck you. We're not going to work, and you're going to take Jaden Daniels, and you're going to like it. So that's what just happened. Not who I wanted to draft. Wanted to draft my 6th overall player at the 109, my RB1, who's somehow still available. But, all right, Jaden Daniels it is then.
Jaden Daniels, it is.
So annoying.
Time to get a new PC, man.
It does it randomly, like once every 3 months. Literally, like once every 3 months, and it decided to do it right then.
I think it might be like your Bluetooth. Like, do you have like a USB that you put into your Bluetooth, or is your Bluetooth part of your PC already?
It's part of my PC, but it's not just Bluetooth. It's anything that's plugged into the PC at all. So it could be USB, literally anything that's plugged in.
That sounds like a motherboard issue. Gotta get a new motherboard then.
Just as long as it doesn't decide to do this in a real draft. That would actually put me over the edge.
A good thing you have 5 minutes in a real draft.
Trey Benson at the 201 is actually crazy. That's who I wanted at the 109. Like I said, he's my 6th overall ranked player in a 1 quarterback format. So to get him at the 201, that's insane value in my opinion.
Going to the to the Giants, baby. Talk it up.
Bro, some says
man.
Best value Jaden Daniels. Oh, that's so annoying. It is what it is.
Marshawn Lloyd off the board there.
I'm completely tilted now. That one thing just tilted me completely.
You gotta bring it down. You gotta hone back in. Don't let it tilt you, man. Don't let it.
What are you doing here? What are you thinking?
I'm going to do Blake off the board. I have no idea here. I'm gonna panic. I was going to go Blake Moore, but did not realize that he was off the board.
Yeah, tough
But
call
still
there. All right, we are Fox Sports.
30 seconds just feels.
We're gonna.
Possible.
Oh, we're not on the clock yet. Okay, good. Braylon Allen goes off the board, so he goes much higher in a 1 quarterback format. Well, I got him at the 307, I think. Yeah, the 307 in the Superflex draft. So he goes a full round higher. Corley's off the board, who went to the Patriots. That makes a lot of sense. I like that pick. I'm going to draft Keon Coleman here. I'll draft Keon Coleman at the 209. Not a player I'm in love with, but he goes in the 2nd round. He's the highest NFL draft player available, still on the board. And he goes to the Chargers. I don't think Quentin's a better prospect. I don't think he's a worse prospect. But clearly there's no one there that any of us really love. So I'll take a shot on Keon there. Javon Baker goes off the board next. Jatavian Sanders, who went to the Dolphins. Bucky Irving, who went to the Chiefs. So these running backs going off the board a little bit earlier than they did in the Superflex League.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
And I'm a little bit surprised about a certain couple names still being available. Roman Wilson's one of them for sure. I like that value there at the 301. But one name in particular is really surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think he went pretty early last one, and not getting taken now.
Xavier Legette off the board. He goes to the Ravens. No, that's got to be reserved for Hutchinson.
I mean,
we got to retire that with him.
I mean, I think we can bring it back. My God, barely lived.
No, he still lives.
He barely lived.
He's alive and kicking.
He lived for a good 3 months in the off season and absolutely went to kaputs after.
Jalen Polk off the board. He goes to the Lions in round 3. We didn't really dive into it too much in the Superflex League, but just Lions are not a spot we're very excited about. It's, again, not anything to do with Jalen Polk as a player, but I think we could all agree, I could be wrong, that he's not going to outproduce Laporta, Amon-Ra. Is he a better prospect than Jameson Williams? I don't know. You got Gibbs there catching passes. There's just not a pathway where we can envision him really breaking out. That's the guy who I was surprised fell this far. Slick Ricky Pearsall. There's a hive of players who love him. So I'm surprised he fell that far. Second round pick to the Colts.
Yeah. Once again, the Colts not a favorable landing spot like we kind of talked about. And maybe the one quarterback community recognizes that. And you can see that fall to the 3-5 there.
Okay, Polk is gone. Tez is gone. Ricky finally went off the board. All right.
Where's the production cats coming from? Right? Can he outproduce? Same thing with the Colts. The Colts, we haven't seen Anthony Richardson produce fantasy relevant wide receivers. Granted, given that he was injured, but one of the biggest concerns of Anthony Richardson was can he better his passing coming into the NFL. We knew he'll be a successful fantasy quarterback on the ground, but not necessarily in the air. Now, we still believe that could potentially happen. Like, if he comes out this year and is supporting Ricky and Michael Pittman, that's great. We all need to reevaluate Ricky Pearsall and how we're going to be evaluating Michael Pittman. That's going to be with somebody that could produce. But
why is the Lions a worse spot than the Colts or Steelers? I mean, it's just our opinions here, by the way. But I'm not going to say like they're a drastically worse spot. But again, so many mouths to feed. That is not the case with those other teams that you just mentioned, right? In Detroit, Laporta, Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, who could be a full-time starter, Jahmyr Gibbs catching passes out of the backfield. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we could all agree that the Lions, the pathway towards producing is very difficult to see. When you talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, you got George Pickens. There's a clear hole on that roster.
You got George Pickens.
Right? There's a clear hole. You got Pat Freiermuth, but
we love Pat.
There's a clear hole there. And when you talk about the Colts, you got Downs and Pittman. You got Alec Pierce. He's a nice player.
You got Jonathan Taylor.
And, I don't like the Colts really much more than I like the Lions, to be honest with you, just because I don't know if A-Rich can support even one wide receiver on a full year, let alone the number 2 or number 3. But, so I wouldn't say the Lions are like a much worse spot than the Colts, but I do think the Steelers stand out as a much better option than those other two names.
And I hear you saying
even 4 targets a game for Jahmyr Gibbs, that is still taking away from a potential name that jumps into Detroit. So,
and I think we can both agree. I think you would agree, Katz, that you don't expect Jahmyr Gibbs to. You would expect Jahmyr Gibbs to potentially get more opportunities in the air coming into this year, going into his second year, there, and and there's so much talk. Jameson Williams, he didn't have essentially 2 seasons in the NFL. He missed the first 18, nearly 20 games of his career.
Well, he missed the first, I think, 14, and then he played the back half or 12 of his rookie season. He played, and then the suspension happened. But the point is, he's never been a starter. They want to make him a starter this year. So, I mean, what are you getting, the Josh Reynolds role? Because there's not much room. If a wide receiver, we love this class, but if a wide receiver in round 3 goes to the Lions, they are not ever going to produce unless an injury happens over Laporta, over Amon-Ra. It's just not going to happen. So at minimum, you're 3, if not 4 or 5 on the roster.
And I think what Kat's trying to say, the offense overall is better. We would agree. The Lions' offense is 100% better than the Steelers. And if you were to put anyone in an offense that could potentially produce more, it will be the Lions. It's just where's that role going to be carved out again?
Yeah.
So
he says Josh Reynolds was fantasy relevant, and he's not a good wide receiver. I guess, like, how do you define fantasy relevant then? Because we're trying to think about these young, exciting rookies and thinking, oh my gosh, what could they do for fantasy? How could they break out? How could they improve their value? I mean, Josh Reynolds was the wide receiver 65 on a per game basis last year, averaging 7.6 points per game. I don't know, like, that doesn't, to me, I'm trying to, like, hit on, at minimum, I want a flex, or I can see a pathway towards a flex or a top 40 finish, you know? I think it wouldn't excite any of us if a wide receiver finished 65th in points per game, you know? If that's the volume that's out there, you can paint a picture. It's just not everyone's going to be able to see that picture.
Yeah, like, I see that picture that you're painting. I see the picture that Jahmyr Gibbs wasn't getting the opportunities, and he wasn't getting crazy amount of targets his rookie year. Jameson Williams only had 3 to 4 targets, and Jalen Polk can step into this offense with somebody that hasn't proven himself for the past 2 years in Jameson Williams specifically, and take over that role. I can see that pathway. I still believe J-Mo is a better prospect and a better talent than Jalen Polk, and I think they're going to continue to build on him rather than a 3rd round pick in Jalen Polk, who I love. I think he can come in and be a good, wide receiver 1B on an offense, in my personal opinion. I haven't been like.
Best ball makes a lot of sense for sure if you're playing best ball, because there's a world where Polk has a couple good games. But I think for any other format outside of best ball, I could be wrong, but without an injury, I would struggle to think of a scenario in which someone starts Jalen Polk in that offense. So yeah, I definitely hear where you're coming from for sure. That's the end of the second mock draft, guys. We appreciate you so much. We will take a second here and we will answer 5 questions. We try and do that at the end of every stream. So 5 questions and 5 questions alone. Just a heads up, tomorrow night we will be live reviewing Dynasty teams. Now, if you want your Dynasty team to be reviewed by us, then it's very simple. All you got to do is become a Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. I put a direct link in the chat for you. So if you have any interest in having us review your roster, if you have any interest in looking at our rankings, our rookie report, getting access to our calculator on the website, getting access to a DM to us, if you have any interest in being a part of our premium Discord channels, then use a promo code LAND. Become a Mother Flocker member. I put a direct link in the chat. You're also keeping the lights on for Badaki and I. You're helping us kind of reach that goal of supporting our family with this love of ours for Dynasty and fantasy football. So we appreciate you big time. Consider signing up. Tomorrow night, we will be reviewing teams from those people who are members. But like we said, 5 questions and 5 questions only. How many likes to rip off a 3 quarterback mock? 1,000. All right, 1,000.
That's absolutely not happening.
Three quarterback would be crazy.
1,000.
Chase wants us to accept this trade. I actually saw your trade in Alpha. I'm not gonna lie, like when I first saw it, Chase, I wasn't instantly like, no, that's not happening. Like it does low key interest me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
This low key interesting. Are you competing in Alpha?
Yeah, I think most of my teams are competing teams now. Honestly, though, I think Juliet might be the only one I'm kind of terrible.
Yeah, a lot of my early teams are now competing. Because they were a 2-year rebuild when I first started. So now coming into this year, they're becoming. Like my Alpha team is low key stock if I can get a quarterback.
Chase says that's the trade you offered me. I just resent it. Yeah. Well, let's be honest, Chase. The back half of the first round got more valuable since I sent that trade. So I'm imagining who I could get at that pick. Here's what's holding me up, Chase. Like if a Benson, a Brooks, one of these guys goes to the Cowboys or the Chargers, I will probably have regretted sending you that pick. So it's a tough call. It's a tough call. All right, we're gonna answer 5 questions. Those didn't count, by the way. First question is from Flock. Who had the best draft? He said. Who had the best draft?
Do you want to waste this pick on that, Waka? Like, do you want to do that? For the community?
Me. I had the best draft. Who do you think had the best draft? Let's go to the Superflex one. Who's the best draft in your opinion?
I had to pull up the Superflex. I closed it.
Definitely not Team 8. Team 8 did really bad. No, I actually think probably Team 9 for me. I just think they hit on a lot of players that I liked the value of those players. I'm going to go Team 9.
Sure. I would say Daniel Macy.
Yeah, that would be second for me.
Drake May falls to him. Jalen Wright going to the Cowboys. Malik Washington, I forgot where he went. And then
Jets.
Brandon Rice. Oh, yeah, he went to the Jets, being wide receiver 2 there. And then Brandon Rice going to
Commanders.
The 49ers or Commanders?
Round 3.
So I think it's some good upside players in all those picks there from Basing.
Yeah. All right, that was question 1. Question 2 is White. He says, Zamir White, a keep or a trade? Will he be the man or be replaced? What do you think, Badaki? If you had to put a percentage on Zamir White being the starting running back for the whole season.
I would say less than 40%. I think it just depends on if the Raiders love a running back in this draft class. Maybe I'm being too generous with 40%. Zamir White is somebody that you can go into community and try and sell him, but everyone knows the situation. No one's going to give you what you want for him.
I would put it at 50%. And the only reason I say that is because the addition of Madison indicates to me that maybe they might roll the dice on this backfield. You know, I could be wrong.
I think what's funny is that Antonio Pierce is so strung up on having this Raiders, old school Raider culture, and to roll the dice with Zamir White and Alexander Madison just doesn't seem smart. And that can be anyone that can come in. Like I think we can confidently say almost every single back outside of the small pass catching backs can come in and take opportunity away from this backfield.
Yeah, no,
and it may not be anyone we like, right? It can be Audric Estime, it can be Ray Davis, Marshawn Lloyd. All those names can come in and will impact that backfield. So
yeah, I would put it at a 50% chance just because I think the Madison ad makes me think they might punt the running back position. I mean, they're probably, we're talking about how much we like next year's class. I'm sure NFL teams are as well. Like, in their head, they might be like, let's rock with what we got and go from there. So I'll put it at 50%. But I would say regardless, I think he's valued right around a mid-second. And if you're telling me I can get the 206 or somewhere around that range, I would sell Zamir White in a heartbeat. Wouldn't think about it twice.
No question.
And we could be wrong. That's question 2 out of 5. Question 3 out of 5 is from Joe. It says, which player would you be most excited about that isn't top 10 that lands in a good spot? I mean, y'all know.
Oh, man. There's so many.
Y'all know the answer for me. I guess the question is top 10 in NFL draft or top 10 in your rankings? Or in consensus rankings.
Which player would you be the most excited that isn't in a top 10 in your top 10 rankings?
I'll answer this. Probably.
I'll give you each
everyone's
position.
obvious.
How about that?
Everyone's obvious. Everyone knows it from me. Jalen McMillan.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I answer to who's your favorite player that no one talks about, or it's always Jalen McMillan. Jalen McMillan for me easily.
Yeah, for me, I've always had two, and that's Xavier Leggett and Malachi Corley at the wide receiver position.
I love Corley, yeah.
Both of those guys, I mean, when I did my first rankings, not even scouting the other half of the class, or I think we did, but I didn't go too deep into their scouting. Malachi Corley was in my top 10 at that time. And then obviously that kind of expanded as we entered the full-on breakdown of each and every film So Malachi Corley and Xavier Leggett would be the two for me. I would say low key though, Jalen Polk is somebody that I really, really like. That has been a top 15 wide receiver for me.
Yeah. That's question 3 out of 5. Question 4, Chase says, I'll be waiting until you get 1K likes. Question 4, Chase says, I remember when you guys would go through each and every person's draft after the draft. Those days were wild. Yeah, that just took forever.
That was exhausting, genuinely.
Trivola says, is there any opportunities for taking over a Dynasty foster team or new league being created? No new league in the plans right now, but anyone who is a Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND, they can DM us and say, hey, put me on the wait list. And if a spot opens up in our leagues where a team is available to be orphaned, we go to that wait list first. In fact, there hasn't been a scenario since we started our leagues where we don't go to that wait list. Like, we don't add people outside of that wait list anyway. So definitely DM us if you're a Mother Flocker member with the code LAND. If you want to be on that wait list.
I mean, I don't know how you feel, but I definitely want to do another league with like community people. But the way I see it, which is really difficult to navigate and build off of, is having a big money league with the community. But how do we choose that? How do we choose you guys? We have so many people in the community, unless it's random. We put the thousands of people that subscribe to us, and then we just pick out of a hat, which seems really unfair. But at the same time, it's like, but I kind of want to have like $150 or $200 league. But at the same time, who can do that? Who can afford that? So
yeah,
I do want to do one more. I just want it to be really big and like big money, hot with the community. But that's hard to navigate.
Yeah, if we offer you 100% transparency, we could. Right now, we're at about, I think, 10 follower leagues, and I'll be honest with you, it's very easy to get people to sign up, and play in a league with us. We could have extended that to like 30 or 40 leagues. The reason we haven't done that is because we care more about the leagues that we've created already. And to be honest with you, I think there's a really bad culture, and I'm not calling anyone out in particular, but I think there's a very bad culture in certain Dynasty circles where it's all about the startup. Hey, I love a startup draft. Let me get another startup draft. Let me get another one. I'll trade back. I'll trade up. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll get this value, right? And then you find those type of people are the same people who are constantly leaving leagues.
Yeah.
It's like,
because they're so
I'm sorry.
To, like, the actual.
Go play best ball. Go play best ball Dynasty. Go, like, you're not actually playing in a Dynasty league. You're playing redraft format. But every year, you're just joining a bunch of new startups, and you're leaving behind the leagues that you didn't do well in. It's like you're not playing Dynasty the right way. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we try and limit it for a couple of reasons. Number one, I want the leagues that we own and the leagues that we commission, the leagues that we oversee. I want them to be good. I want them to have purpose, and I want people to feel value in them. And I want it to be difficult to get in. I want it to be like, damn, okay, it's not just like throwing candy out. Anyone can get in a league with us. Just sign up, I want it to be like a thing people feel really good about being a part of.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's full transparency. Hopefully that makes sense. That was question 4, I think.
Is it?
Is
it? What was it? What was the first one again?
I think that was question 4. Yeah, right? Yeah, I think that was question 4.
That was 3. Was it a flop?
Chase says there might be an orphan in Alpha if Zach doesn't accept my trade. Yes, that is a threat. Last one's from Terry. He says, Holy Cross receiver Jalen Coker, how do you feel about him? Just being 100% honest, I haven't done a deep dive on him yet. I'd like to tell you my thoughts, but I would rather not just make it up,
Yeah.
I know there's a good portion of people who really love him. I have not taken the time to dive into him at this moment, but I definitely want to. Joe says, hate when they leave Dynasty League. It's not the purpose to leave. Go to redraft. Yeah, the funniest part of that is when you look on Twitter, and there's certain people who agree with me who just hate that. And I think there was someone in a league once who was like, hey guys, I'm leaving this league. because I'm trying to, get down on leagues. I'm trying to spend my time in certain areas. And then he says, if you're going to do a startup, though, let me know. Like, that's just the mindset of some people. They're obsessed with the startup. They don't actually, like, if you run your league into the ground, if you run your team into the ground and you made bad moves, live in the grave that you buried yourself in, and try and get away.
That's the hard part with best ball, because people are addicted to it. But like, you're not going to follow your 100 best ball league. So like what they do is that you mock, or you do an actual draft, and you kind of wait it out for one season to see how you go. And if you feel like this team is going to be successful for multiple years, or you can swindle a couple people, then they'll stay. And if not, it's like, oh, I know I'm going to be bad. There's no point in me keeping this team. I don't want to put the effort in. I'm just going to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, if anyone's watching this and there's a league that they're in, they're like, I'm going to give up that league because if I'm honest with myself, I ran it into the ground and I want to just start a new Dynasty league.
That's how he feels.
Don't be that guy. All right.
That's how he feels.
All right. Well, that's it for today.
We appreciate you.
Yeah. Hit the like button. Just play redraft. Honestly, that at the end of the day, that's what annoys me. Like, just play redraft. You can like fantasy. Maybe you're not cut for Dynasty. Maybe you're not cut from that cloth. All right. We appreciate you. And we'll see you soon. Hit the like button. And all love, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Love.